Hi, everybody. Before we get to another great interview, we could really use your help. IMDb, which is the entertainment database, recently named the Two Opinionated podcast one of its top 100 podcasts. This is a monumental feat for this program. You know, we're a father and son team out of a small town in West Virginia, have been doing this for about 5 years. There's 15 million podcasts out there. About 40,000 of those get to the point that they're listed on IMDb. Out of those 40,000 out of the 15 million, we were ranked number 82. Something that we're just immensely proud of. We're so thankful for our listeners, our watchers, our fans. Thank you so, so much. If you would like to help us out, and we're asking for it, please. It's easy. It's really easy. It's free. If you go to IMDb, that's IMDb.com, look up Two Opinionated Podcast, and just take a look at the page. That's all you have to do. I mean, you're welcome to look at the cast, look at the episodes so you can kind of see who's been on the program. Do whatever you want. But even just bringing up the page, IMDb.com, Two Opinionated Podcast, bring up the page, look at it. That helps us so much. So please, if you can do anything, we would really appreciate that. Our YouTube channel is MeisterCon Pod. Love to have your subscription there. It's also free. And you can also check out our website, meistercon.com, where you'll find almost 700 episodes, audio and video, available on there. There's also a terrific blog from Brett, and it'll let you know anything that we have going on in studio, if we're covering a convention, if we're going on location, anything that we have going on will be on the website, meistercon.com. Thank you guys so, so much. We appreciate you so much. I can't express enough how appreciative we are of all of you. We never expected to do as well as we have, and that's all because of you. Thank you so much. Enjoy that interview. Bye, everybody.
I think they said that.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Two Opinionated. I'm so excited today. I've got the band ICYDAY with me. So welcome to Sloane Morgan Siegel, David Bloom, and Isaac Cohen. So welcome, gentlemen.
Hey, yo, thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
I should say welcome back to Morgan. Or to Sloane. This is his second time on the show.
Yeah, it's good to be back, man.
I mentioned off camera, fellow West Virginia. So
yeah, Martinsburg, represent.
Exactly right. Martinsburg, it just barely made it, but it's in.
Yeah, it's right there on the line. I grew up on the line, but I claim West Virginia. Yeah,
we'll take it. We don't have much, we're small. So any space we can get, we'll take. So welcome, guys. I was excited. Sloane, when we talked last time, which, if you can believe it's been 2.5 years, that's went by fast.
Yeah, that's a lifetime.
2020 took, 3 or 4 years to get through, and then it's like 6 months a year since.
Oh yeah. And then 2021 had this weird time effect where it was going really slow and then really fast.
Yeah,
it felt like limbo.
It was weird. Yeah, and we're still kind of coming out of that. But when we talked then, you talked about your love of music and wanting to kind of do something with that at some point.
I did that. That's good to know.
You did, yeah. You mentioned it, and we talked about it for a minute. So I was so happy to see that you followed through with that. So let's start there, guys. How did you get the band together? How did you form?
Well, we've all been friends for many, many years. I mean, I've known David since I was 12. Like we did multiple shows together and everything. We became best friends over it. We would have movie weekends where we'd have sleepover for like 3 days and watch an entire horror film series or something. And that's just how we became, best friends. And then I met Isaac through David because they went to high school together.
Okay.
And so we all started playing video games all the time. And obviously I'd see Isaac at David's birthday party, or we go play basketball or something. And then we were playing, oh, you there?
I'm still here.
Okay, gotcha. And then we were playing Minecraft of all things. And we were talking about all of our love for music, because we all love music individually. Isaac has been doing music his whole life, and David as well. And so I started recently, and we were like, oh, we should sit down. We should write something. We should see what comes of it.
Well, yeah.
And so we showed up at Isaac's place, we wrote something, and we were like, oh man, that's special. That's something that needs to be heard. And so we kept writing stuff. And by the time we got like 3 or 4 songs in, we were like, let's like do a band. Let's make something out of it. Let's see how far it can go. Let's see how far we can take this, and let's just have a good time doing it, you know?
Was that the magic number? Like you're like, once you get to 3 and the songs are decent, you're like, okay, now we can be a band now.
Yeah, exactly.
The first
exactly.
two
Around
songs,
there, yeah.
be like, okay,
Yeah.
maybe not.
Yeah, you got to know. It's the same with the 3-episode rule of TV. Like, you got to watch at least 3 episodes before you can deem a show unworthy, you know? Like,
That is true. You
Yeah.
got to give time for the setup.
that's true. That's true. You can't just give up on the first episode.
No.
Although there have been times where I'm guilty of that.
Same.
But
I think we
Well,
all
you
do
know.
that.
yeah.
Well, and I'd seen where you and David, you've worked together on set before.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of neat. It's always nice when you work with friends. So that's pretty great with that. So once you decided, okay, let's do a band, you know, what happens next? Do you go and try to record? Is that where you go for next? Or is it just, you know, do you go play a venue, you know, or like a coffee house? How do you get started?
I mean, I think that there are a lot of different ways that you can get started. There are a lot of things that you can do. Some people will go that let's play some live shows route.
Yeah.
For us, it was really, all right, let's get all the songs we want to get. Demo version, right? Let's get all the aspects of the song that we know are the core. And then
Right.
we found a way to record. We worked with our mixer, West Poland, and we were able to put all the songs down, make a lot of more adjustments to it, make the songs a lot better even. I mean, if you listen back 2 years ago to the demo version of the songs that we have out now, they sound unrecognizable. So it's really just like, you know, get everything organized, get everything together, and then just do those next steps. I mean, you know, you can do it in-house, you can go and you can kind of outsource things, you can bring people in, you can collaborate. There's so many different ways to become a band nowadays that, like, I mean, you could just, you know, just be on social media. I mean, that's a huge part of
Yeah,
it.
it's true. You
know?
could just throw it up on YouTube and TikTok and all
Exactly.
that stuff.
Yeah.
Throw it up on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. I mean, we're in such a abundant and blessed part of the human history with making a band. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, there are so many people who could just post on social media, and you couldn't do that 20, 30 years ago. And that is we're so lucky that, like, at this point, we're like, we gotta try at least.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know how that goes. If you don't try, then a few years down the road, you're going to regret it.
I mean,
Yeah.
If you tried
Exactly,
and
yeah.
failed, you'd at least know.
if you try and fail, there's no difference than not trying at all. I mean, there are so many things that we do that are tedious and we don't like to do, and we're kind of just paying our dues in a way. But when you find something that really you love, you know, whether it's so easy or difficult or whatever, I mean, you gotta try it at least.
At
At least you gotta put in some effort, because at the end of the day, that's what we want to do, is the things that we love. And there is nothing that I love more than making music with these two guys, really.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. So okay, so let's start, Isaac. Let's start with you. What do you do for the band? Are you playing instruments? You singing? Both? What do you do?
Yeah, so my main contribution is the producing side. Just, you know, writing all the instruments. I mean, mainly the instruments, and helping a little bit with like vocal melodies. I save, you know, the lyrics for David and Sloane, and most of the melodies for them. I just kind of help like bring the song together with finding chords, finding the music,
Well,
and
yeah,
then
the
once we have
important
the
stuff.
idea around, just like producing around it.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. And you got to have that. You know, if you don't put it all together right, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
By the way, you guys,
Mhm.
your melodies, harmonies, really good, really good.
Thank you. That's all David. David's a harmony man.
Yeah.
Like, how did you get so good at harmonies, David?
It's good.
Practice makes perfect.
It kind of it reminded me of the music I used to love to listen to, you know, growing up, but which was my parents' music from the 50s and 60s. But you had those groups that just harmonize so well. And I
Oh,
just,
yeah.
wow, that sounds great. And I thought you guys did the same thing. It just it's
Thank
fun
you
to
so
listen.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
That means a lot. That's one of my favorite things about music is the harmonies and choral chords and everything. So to be able to put that in and have that be recognized is really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So David, what do you do for the band?
Well, like like we said, I make a lot of the harmonies and the chord stacks. I sing a lot on Sloane and I we go back and forth singing. I do a lot of the vocal melody, some of the lyrics, and then I do a lot of the drums. I've been playing drums for over a decade now.
Yeah.
And I do a lot of the sounds, the patterns, the specific details when it comes to drums. Isaac will usually put in a drum pattern and I'll run in and I'll put in a bunch of fills and yeah. So that's really what I do.
Great. That's great. Well, that leaves you, Sloane. What's your role?
Yeah, I write most of the lyrics, and I'm pretty much a conceptual guy as well. I come up with a lot of ideas for the songs and a lot of the themes for the music, and sort of like a lot of times we'll write around an idea. Like we have 2 or 3 ways we write, where we start with lyrics, where like I'll write out all the lyrics and I'll be like, let's put a melody to this, and then David helps me with the melody, and then Isaac gets the chords going, or I'll come in with like simple chords because I play guitar as well.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I
learn
thought you
bass.
did. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, I'll come in with simple chords, and then I'll be like, can you guys fix these? Or like, I'll have the idea of the song, I'll have the lyrics in mind, I'll have a melody that usually David ends up perfecting, and then Isaac will take the simple chords and he'll make them these elaborate, beautiful compositions. And so it's like, I don't know, I start it and they like bring it to a whole new light. And so
You know enough to be dangerous. And
yeah.
they kind of make
more
sure
than
that
you
it
let on.
doesn't go awry.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They bring me in. They certainly bring me in to a point where like I have all these ideas that are out there, and like I'm always coming up with new ideas for songs, and then they're always like, okay, but how are we gonna do that? How are we gonna make it sound? What genre is that gonna be? And then David will start grounding me by tightening up the melodies, and then like maybe saying, okay, well, this line's a little wordy. Let's like chop this down so it sounds like, so it flows better. And so then I'll just like rework it 100 times until I get the okay from them. Meanwhile, Isaac is just like speaking with the music. I mean, that man speaks with a keyboard. But yeah, I mean, that's sort of what I do. I sort of get it started, and then they make it good. And then they come up with all the better chords and all the better melodies.
Was it easy fitting into the roles? Did you guys just kind of fall into those roles, which sounds like maybe that's how it happened? Or did you have to say, okay, I'm going to do this, you're going to do that?
No,
we all do everything. Yeah, but go on, David.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it's very natural to what we do. I feel that we all give each other the space to bring out the best in ourselves, and we all do everything. Like it's not that one person has a specific job and nobody steps on their toes, but we all just kind of work with what's naturally best for us. And like Sloane was talking about, like sometimes he'll bring in ideas and chords. Sometimes Isaac will have a full completed composition on his
and that's what
on his computer, and we'll come in and we'll be like, oh, that's a song. I don't know what you're talking about. That's a pop song.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I'll run in with like a drum beat and I'm like, I can't get this out of my head, guys. We need to put chords to this. I mean, we all have our own styles and they complement each other so well that it's like, this is the first time in my life I've really been able to make music past just an experimental stage, past like a few chords, and I'm like, I don't know what to do with this stage. So I mean, the fact that I can actually be here years down the road talking about songs that we've made, talking about songs that we have coming out is like, I feel really lucky.
You know what's funny is that we wrote songs when we were like 15 together just for fun, and we never did anything with that. Like we would just mess around on a keyboard, like you would be playing the keyboard and you'd be like coming up with something, and I'd be like coming up with words, and then like we would write stuff for fun. And then you and Isaac wrote stuff too. I mean, your promposal,
that's awesome.
Yeah. The promposal.
that was an incredible
that was fun.
Well, I was gonna say, did you actually do the proposal?
Well, I mean, back in 20, what was it, 19? Promposal was a really big deal at my high school, at Isaac and I's high school. So we kind of went a little all out for it for my girlfriend. It was, there's a lot of history there, but we kind of went all out for it. We got a spotlight even. Once I told the theater people who my girlfriend was, they were like, "Oh, her? Yeah, no, absolutely, we love her." And I'm like, "Cool, man. She's likable. It's great."
So it worked out.
It
worked out, yeah.
really well.
Yep.
Isaac's, that's the introvert in you. You're just hunkered down, just putting out the product, man. That's pretty
Exactly,
good.
yeah. I remember I just had the song, just like the music, I wrote it a long time ago, and I told David like, hey, we should just use this and you write words since you're way better at writing words than I am, and let's just do it. And we still have the video, and it's really fun to look back on.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah,
Time
that's
capsule
cool.
for sure.
So you put a song out back in January, I believe. Open Up.
Mhm.
Yeah, that we love that one. Thought it was
Thank you.
terrific. What was the response you got on it?
The response was really great. I mean, every response that we've got, whether it's from people who know us personally, people who have been following us before the music, people who found the music, has been really positive. And like, I mean, we're so grateful for the fact that people have been responding really well. So the response has been it's been great. It's been supportive and positive, and like, wow, this is really cool. Because
Yeah.
I mean, part of the cool thing about releasing your first song is, hey, we wrote a song. That's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
That's pretty
I know
cool.
something you're telling people about
Yeah.
for so long, you can finally just point to it. Like I remember, David, you telling me so many times, you're like, I just want to be able to say like, we make music, here it is. You
Yeah.
know, now we can do
Yeah,
that.
you actually have to have something out there to say you make music, I guess.
We're a band. Here you
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's Open Up about?
Well, Open Up really is a song that is about getting to know somebody, letting somebody in, loving somebody unconditionally, really wanting to be able to know somebody on a deeper personal level. And it starts really with that concept of like, open up. Those were the first words that we wrote, and we kind of took it from there. And it really wasn't until the end of the chorus that we figured out, okay, this is what the song's going to be about. Let me know you. Let me be able to learn everything I can about you in a very altruistic, loving kind of way. And the song just kind of formulated itself of like, oh, it's a love song, but at the same time, like it's got a very like chill, groovy aspect to it, and it's happy and it's positive, and it's a really great idea and great concept. I mean, I feel for our first song.
I love that. Yeah, that's great. So if you had to put yourselves in a genre, what would it be?
Pop R&B.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where I'd
Mostly
put
pop
it.
though.
I'd say it's like mainly pop, but we kind of infuse other elements in our songs, such as like rock, R&B, cinematic, singer-songwriter, but it's all basically revolving around pop.
Yeah. I used to be, it was like a guilty pleasure. Now I'm just like, I just like it. I've always enjoyed pop. I've always enjoyed
amazing.
listen to. I think, when my oldest was a baby or growing up, what was popular was like the boy bands, Britney Spears,
Mhm.
that stuff was what was popular. So we listened to it all the time, and I think it just stuck with me. I was like, I guess I'm a pop guy now.
I mean, good music, good music,
It is good music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that stuff will come on now, and I'll be like, yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah. I like
Music.
that.
I mean, it's made to be like as catchy as possible. Just
Yeah.
like even like the math behind all the songwriting and the structure.
Yeah, that's kind of neat too, because you're right. When you listen to it, it makes you kind of sing and hum along to it. Yeah, I think that's part of where the harmony really helps, because everybody loves to be part of a harmony. So when you hear somebody sing a good harmony, you tend to jump right in, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you get the song out around Valentine's Day that you were planning? I saw one around. It was what is it?
Yeah.
Love Isn't Fair.
Yeah, that came out a day after Valentine's Day at like 9 p.m. midnight for the following days. It came out Friday the 16th, right? That was the day, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I believe so, yeah.
Eastern time.
Yeah,
that's
so that was
awesome.
a heartbreak song after Valentine's Day, which hopefully
It's
helped.
close enough. I mean, Valentine's Day came in the middle of the week, so weekend's close enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know,
When most people are celebrating, right?
most
Hey,
people
we
are celebrating.
celebrated the night before because it was so hard to get a dinner reservation anywhere.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, we'll just do it the night before. And then we did, on Valentine's Day, we just did, movie at home and like the the meat and cheese tray kind of.
Oh, that's nice. That's
Mm.
But
sweet.
yeah, so we made it a 2-day event.
Nice.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad. So is the plan to continue to release singles, or are you leading up to an album?
Well, we've got one more single.
Yeah.
We've got one more song called One More Song.
Yep.
And that comes out on March 8th. So I guess March 7th, 9 p.m.
Yeah.
Pacific, 12 Eastern time. And then after that, in the spring, we have a full album.
Oh, that's awesome.
I want to say 5 more songs coming out
Mm-hmm.
on
Yeah,
an
so
album.
probably like an 8-song. That's
Yeah,
that's
an
an
8-song
album.
album.
It's on
Yeah.
for first album.
That's
Yeah.
pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good. So the new one more song. What I get the title, but what's the song about?
Well, I mean, the song's really like, you meet somebody for the first time. You've been talking to them all night. Maybe you're, at a party, at a club, something, and you have one more song to, to do something.
dance
You
with
got,
them
you got one
Yeah.
one more song to try it out. So,
You know,
what are you waiting for?
I love that because we've all been in that, situation. You're trying to build your nerve up, go talk to somebody, you're running out of time, it's getting late, you're running out of time. And
Yeah, you're saying the words pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, those are pretty much the lyrics.
those are stressful times. I remember.
They're closing down, so like,
Yeah, they're closing down. We get one more chance, one more
Yeah.
dance.
You better make a move.
Yeah.
But it's a really fun song though.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Do you have a name for the album yet?
We're working on it.
Not yet, but we're
We're
getting
working on it.
close.
There's so many names we're trying to narrow it
Secret.
down to. We know when it's like ready to put up, we'll know. You know what I mean? We're like wait until we're like finally sure what it should be called. But yeah.
Yeah, you want to make sure to get that right.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's gonna last, because people refer to albums like they're people, So it's like they call them by name and it's like every song on it. You have a visual, you have a feeling related to it.
Well,
And
we
so
all got our favorite albums.
exactly, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. I should have asked, where did the name ICYDAY come from?
It's a combination of all of our names.
I
So the
figured it
I
was.
is for Isaac and C is for Siegel, Sloane's last name, and Day is for David.
Yeah, I figured
And it
that's what it
kind of
was.
sounds right together.
Yeah, well,
Very
yeah,
hard to-
because it actually you were able to form something that sounded cool.
Yeah, right. And
Yeah.
literally. And it took
Literally cool.
took a long time. I mean, naming a band is almost as difficult as naming an album. Probably more difficult. We spent
way
months
more
trying
time.
to name the band. Yeah.
Well,
We
you
went
don't want the Parks and Rec situation going on, where you had Chris Pratt had that band on there, and every episode the band's name would change.
Oh yeah.
And it got to the point that he couldn't even remember what name they were using when. He'd get up on stage and he'd say, thanks for coming out for whatever it was. And he's like, no, wait, that was last week. And he'd be like trying to remember. Yeah, you don't want that situation. Nobody'd ever know where you were or who you were.
Yeah, you need something that lasts, something
Yeah.
that rolls off the tongue, something you could see and go, oh, that's them. Something that's visually recognizable, And
Do you
so
plan
ICYDAY
to
was what we
do-
learned.
Do you plan to do videos at some point?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we plan to do
Hopefully,
videos
yeah.
eventually. I mean, there's a lot that we have still to do. There's a lot that we have still to come out. So soon enough, yeah.
Is that how we get Isaac into acting?
That's
Yeah,
probably
that's
that's
how we
probably
do
the
it.
only way.
Just you wait how they get Isaac into acting.
He'll win an Oscar first try.
First try, first prize.
Might as well. Might as well go for it.
I'm going to enjoy turning on the TV and seeing that and be like, hey.
Let me just win an Oscar before you guys.
That would be great.
So is the plan at some point to do live shows, to tour? What's your plan for the upcoming year?
Eventually, yeah. I think once we get a few more people to play with us, so that we have a full sound on the stage. Because the
Yeah.
three of us can all play our respective instruments, but I'm sure it's hard for like David to sing and play drums. And like, you know what I mean? So like, it would be good to have some people behind us for if we do live shows. So once we find that, and once we get a little practice in, I think we could come up with some really cool live versions for the music. So I would say that's definitely down the line for sure.
Yeah.
Whether that's on this album or in between the next one or after the next one, but it'll definitely happen eventually.
Yeah, we're and like really, you guys are right at the beginning.
Yeah, yeah.
Very beginning, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's pretty exciting. That's pretty exciting. Was there bands or singers that you modeled after or that you admired that kind of influenced the music?
We definitely have a lot of people we all love individually. We all have completely different tastes in music.
Really?
With like one through line for each of us. I would say there's music we all like, there's music two of us like, and there's music one of us likes, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But we definitely have a lot of inspirations. What about you guys?
Is there a music that one of you likes that the other two hate?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm not the biggest like I don't hate it. I love a lot of the songs from it, but I'm not the biggest pop fan. Like I like a lot of alternative stuff, a lot of indie R&B. I don't like listen to pop a whole lot. They like love pop.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's good though. That's good because then you can mix in some other stuff and
Yeah, and that's
funk it up a little bit.
Yeah, I'd say David probably likes R&B the most out of all of us. Like all the and slow R&B. And I like for my slow music, I like ballads.
Yeah.
But normally I'm just listening to like pop or pop rock. I know David likes pop rock too.
Isaac and I.
Yeah, they
like
love
pop
Knox too. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Knox, little pop
He's
punk,
great.
little punk rock type stuff. I've got a lot more of a I like a little bit more rock too. And maybe more new age rock still too, that they're kind of like, I don't know. Like, if you ever heard of the band Good Kid, who are kind of coming up.
Oh yeah.
I like them a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty good. Yeah, I hear it. My wife works for Live Nation, so I hear a lot of the stuff.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, because she's listening to it. So I'll hear some of that. So which is good because my tendency when I'm listening to something is more podcast related. I'm trying to find ways to improve. So when it's music, I'm usually listening to what she's listening to. But yeah, it keeps me up to date at least on some of the bands coming out. Although
and I like all the newer bands. Yeah, I like Les Arlo Parks, all of them.
Yeah.
All the indie stuff.
The Grammys this year were really good.
Yeah, yeah.
They were.
Yeah, there was some good music on there this time. Not that there isn't every year, but I thought this year especially was really good.
Oh,
they put on a good show, definitely.
Yeah, it's always fun to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, we stayed at that at a hotel where they had hosted the Grammys for us in Miami. And it may be last year's Grammys were there. I don't know, but it was pretty amazing kind of looking at the space because the space that they're using to stage the Grammys is pretty small. Like you look on TV, it looks pretty large, you got all this room, but actually looking at it, I was like, they can't fit all that in there, but I guess they did.
They found a way.
They found a way. It was kind of the same. If you've ever been, I don't know if you guys have had a chance to be on one of the talk shows. I've been to one in the audience, and you think you watch it on TV, and you're like, that's a big space, and then you go and it's like 150 seat theater.
Oh, it's tiny.
Yeah, it's just a little space.
Tiny.
Yeah, yeah. So, what you've got the 3 songs followed by the 5 songs. Are you already working on the next album, or is this? Let me get this one out, and then we'll work on the next one.
Oh no, the next one's already in the works.
Yeah, we already have we have more songs that we're working on, and it might narrow down, but for now, like we have a lot coming.
Oh yeah, no, we're not stopping anytime soon.
Does it continue to change as you're working on it, and as you put more music out? Is your style changing at all, or are you pretty consistent with it?
I mean, our style it's not necessarily about the concept of change, but it's more about growth.
Yeah.
Like our style will grow and we'll learn more and more by making more music, and we'll learn stuff that we did in the past that we don't want to do again. We'll learn stuff that we really liked and we need to be able to do again. we've become more succinct, more efficient, more streamlined, and it's just learning from our mistakes, learning from what works, and just implementing that. So our style is gonna change a little bit, but there's just a ton of growth, and seeing that is really, really cool, honestly.
We've all grown a lot. And I've certainly learned a lot from you guys. Like, they've both taught me so much through this process. I feel like I can be more of a contributing member this time around, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty great. That's pretty great. So is it difficult managing music career around the acting stuff, or do you just work it out, fit it in, or you take a break from the acting stuff? How does that work?
I mean, there's a lot that, you do for both. I think that there's a lot of times that when people act, they have a lot of other things that they do as well. So when it comes to acting, we all want to work, and we all love to work. And I feel like when you get to work, because there have been times where we were making the music maybe 1.5 years ago, and I was on set all day, and I'm like, guys, you got to do this without me. I gotta go. I have a night shoot. I'm gonna be there till 4 in the morning. Like, I don't know what to say, but I had about a month and a half that I had to go somewhere completely else, and film a feature film that's coming out soon. But I mean, now it's really just, you do this side of it, you do this side of it. As long as you can, at least for me, put the work in everywhere. Like, if I can put the best foot forward in acting and music, I can do them both. I can sit here and I can put the work in. If one ever starts to suffer because of the other, that's when the conversation's needed. Like, all right, where do we pivot? What do we do?
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like you guys have most of the logistical stuff worked out, which sometimes that's the part that screws bands up. It's just not being able to figure out the timing.
I think the good part of that's just that, like, these are my best friends, so it's like working on music is getting to spend time with my best friends. Like, it's never work. It's something we all love, and we all love each other. So it's like, I feel like logistically it was always going to make sense. We were always going to have sort of a second language of our friendship that allows us to communicate a lot better, to work a lot better. Certainly do interviews. Like, I have had more fun doing interviews with them than I did on my own. Because on my own, like, you're like talking about it, but like when I get to talk with them, it's like, it's so fun because we all know sort of, when the other one wants the other one to speak or something like that. Like, we just have this unspoken language. So I think like we're always going to be fine.
Yeah, I love it. It's fun when you see groups of people together that obviously like to be together. And I can tell that with you guys. You're enjoying yourselves. You're having fun with what you're doing, which makes, watching, listening that much better for fans, for us, because it's nice seeing that you're getting along. I mean, of course, we always like drama, but sometimes it's nice not having drama.
Yeah. Who needs drama? Who needs to watch that on TV?
Well, thank you guys so much. This has been terrific. The music sounds wonderful. Can't wait to see what you have going forward. And you got to let me know if you start doing live shows. Let me know. We'll try to come out to one.
Yeah, you got it.
You'll be the first to know.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. We do that. I travel cross country to see you guys.
Nice.
Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Man. Hey, maybe we'll even play in West Virginia or wherever.
You need to.
And wherever we can play, we will play.
Exactly.
I'll make you a pitch. So we do a festival here in St. Albans called Yak Fest.
All right.
My wife helps put it on. It's the largest kayak festival in the country. This little town, we got maybe 1,000 people in this town. So it's a little town, but they'll get several thousand kayaks that go down this little river called the Coal River that goes through town, and they'll do it once a year. But then on Main Street, they do that weekend. They have a festival. And it's pretty large. It's pretty large, and it's nice. You have a little stage, and that's my pitch to you. Yak Fest.
We'll play that with you. Give us a little, give us a little warning of when. Give us some practice.
I'll tell her to reach out to you because it's a fun one. It's
that sounds really cool, actually.
Yeah, because it's I don't know if you've ever been to Sundance, but it's about that size. It's tiny.
Wow.
I mean, the festival's pretty large, but the little area is only a block or two big. It's tiny, but it's packed in. It's pretty fun. Pretty fun.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
There's my pitch. So a couple things before I let you go. Sloane, let's start with you. You working on anything upcoming acting wise that we can keep an eye out for? Anything else you got going on?
Not acting wise, mostly just the music, but I write comics. That's my other thing.
I know you made my day when you said that.
Oh, I'm glad.
Yeah.
I have 2 books in the works right now. I got one where book 3 is almost complete. First 2 books are letters done and everything.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be looking to publish sort of by the end of the year when we have 5 out of 6 books done. And then my other series is 8 books, and that one is going into production probably middle of the year when the artist is available. And so that will probably be available next year. So hopefully I'll have a first book published this year and my second series publishing next year. Second one is long form, and the first one is a 6-issue miniseries. So yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Are you self-publishing, or you have somebody publishing for you?
No, I'm looking to go with Image if I can. Yeah, that's the goal. So if Image is listening, let me know.
All right. Keep me posted, because I'll be on top of that. That's awesome.
Yeah, you got it, man. Yeah, and then so that's my goal. That's my number one. And then obviously there's so many amazing publishing companies out there. It's just a matter of like creator-owned rights or this or that, the other. It's a very complex industry. But I'm really excited to finally jump in when the book is complete. And I'm halfway through now. So
yeah. That's awesome, and good for you. Yeah, that's awesome. Hey, we had Caitlin on. She said tell you hello.
Oh, that's great. Hi, Caitlin from the podcast verse.
That it'd been a couple years since Dwight was on TV, but she yeah. She said she still misses it. She misses it.
I miss it too. It was a fun character. It was such a fun crew too. We had so much fun. We laughed every single day. And I miss them a lot. I mean, everybody's doing their own thing. Everybody's working constantly. So, yeah.
I know. You remember it fondly. You can kind of commemorate, I guess, when you get together, but the rest of the time you're too busy really to worry about it.
Yeah. I'd come back for a movie or something. That'd be fun if we did like a Dwight movie.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, we're putting that out.
At one point. Yeah.
I think anything else you got going on that we can keep an eye out for?
Nothing solo, just the songs.
Nothing solo yet.
Yeah, nothing solo yet.
Yeah.
We're gonna work on that acting debut though.
Maybe one day.
David, same question. What do you have going on?
I do actually. Yeah, I have a movie coming out.
Really?
It's called Screams from the Tower. Ooh. It's coming out fairly soon. It's all done. Picture wrapped.
Is that a horror movie?
It sounds like it. It is a coming of age movie that is based in the mid to late 90s.
Oh,
it's
nice.
A comedy.
I love the 80s and 90s movies.
Oh yeah. A lot of, comedy, a lot of improv, a lot of heart. It's melancholic. It's really one of my favorite things I've worked on, and I take it so personal in the way that, it really, with the crew and the cast, like it really felt like I want to put my best. I always do, but like I feel that I have so much control into making this movie as good as it, I think is. I still haven't even seen a final cut. It's coming soon, maybe next month. But yeah, so that's coming out. If you want to find more information on it, I have links and a bunch of posts from my Instagram that you can go check out and see. And when it does come out, when I do get a date when it's coming out, you'll be the first to hear.
Yeah, you gotta let us know. Of
course, as soon as it comes out and where it's coming out, because that's always a question with movies of these. You will be the first to know. Don't worry.
The nice part is there's a lot of options to where it comes out.
There are a ton of options. That's not necessarily my job. I do not know how that works, and I do not know how to get that going. I'm in the movie and I do that stuff, and then after that I'm like, okay, you
did your part. That's on them.
But there are so many options, and I think that, and maybe I'm a little biased, but I think that the movie's really good, and I think that it's really funny and sweet and endearing. And I think that it's something that whether you feel connected to it, whether you don't know a lot about it, you will be able to enjoy and be able to find a lot of heart in it. Because it's really, it's character driven, it's story driven, it's time period driven, and it's a really sweet film. And I'm really, really
I'm sold on it just because of how passionate you are about it.
There are, certain things in this world I'm passionate about. Our music and that film, and there are so so many reasons why I'm so excited for people to hear both our new songs, our album, and see that movie. So, in time.
Did you get to dress up in 90s clothing?
Oh, yes, I do.
I can't wait to
Yes,
see
I
that.
do.
Yeah, that should be fun.
Me too.
Takes place maybe late 90s, so there's a lot. There's a lot
that's
of
awesome.
90s in that movie.
Yeah, good for you. That's awesome. That's awesome. So, where can we find more information about ICYDAY?
Well, besides for our own individual Instagrams, at ICYDAY Music on Instagram and Twitter, and at ICYDAY on TikTok, we've also got a link tree with all that information. And then as for music wise, I mean, anywhere you listen to music, Apple Music, Spotify, Pandora, YouTube. I could sit here and I could list every single music streaming service we're on. But anywhere that you listen to music, you can find us. You can find songs that we just put out. I don't think they show you what's upcoming, but we'll show you what's upcoming as soon as we're getting close to it. But yeah.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Yeah, and I probably should have asked. Let's go back to you, Sloane. What's your Instagram, your social media? Let's run through that.
Oh, everything runs through ICYDAY. I mean, I'm not really on socials a whole lot. I'm usually on there for the band.
Yeah.
So like all my stuff's just my name though. It's just Sloane Siegel. So yeah.
Yeah, very good, very good. Isaac, do you have individual ones?
Yeah, but I'm kind of like Sloane, but although I don't really use mine at all, but it's Isaac C50.
Isaac C50 and David.
Yep.
Yeah, just David H. Blue, just my name and my middle initial. You know, I same thing. You know, I post just about the music. I post about like, you know, what I'm doing in life, what work that I'm doing. So, I mean, there's a lot of really cool things coming up for all three of us.
Yeah, that's why Instagram's so nice, because you know it's everybody's just putting out what they're doing, what they're eating. You know, a pretty picture that they like. It's nice.
I'm definitely gonna put my whole book up when that comes.
Gosh, you have
I'm gonna be crazy about it. I'll be putting all the concept art and everything.
Hit me up, because I'll put that up on our you know, our stuff. You know,
Yeah, you got it, man. I will.
We got MeisterCon on Facebook. I'll put it out there.
You got it. You got it.
Eyes on it.
November, you know. Yeah.
Well, thank you all for this. This has been a blast. You got to come back when the next album comes out, or maybe, you know, down the road for this one. We can kind of recap, see how it did, or if you're
that'd be nice. Yeah, see what you thought.
Reach out to me, and I'm gonna pass on that stuff for Yak Fest for my wife. So
please do
tell her to reach out, because it's in June. I give you a little time.
Yeah, I guess it's time.
Yeah. All right, guys, hold on 1 second. All right, so that was the band ICYDAY. You'll definitely want to check them out. They've got a really nice sound. I enjoyed all of their songs that I've listened to. They've got 2 of them out, 1 of them coming. Open Up was the first one. Love Isn't Fair came out last Friday. And then the new one coming out on March the 8th is One More Song. You can check out Sloane's previous visit. He was on a couple years back, mostly talking about acting, but he did mention his love of music and that he was working on that. I loved hearing that he's working on a comic book. He's definitely he's definitely my people. He's nerdy, and love talking to him about the nerdy stuff. But I don't know, it does my heart good to see that he is pursuing that with a comic book. That's awesome. He played Nightwing in Gotham Knights, so he's got some nerd bona fides there. David's a talented actor as well. American-born Chinese. He was on the Goldbergs. Really, the Weird Al Yankovic documentary that came out. He does a really good job. Really talented actor. And it sounds like Isaac is the glue that's holding them together, like the professional musician that really understands how to put the music in the lyrics and the thing, whatever, you know, it's like the catch-all, and anything that's needed, Isaac is taking care of for the group. Sounds like they got a great thing going because they get along so well. You got to love friends working together. That's just terrific. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you're finding us for the first time, love that you're here. We could really use your support, and it's easy to do. It's free. There's a couple of ways to do it. If you're a watcher, our YouTube channel is MeisterCon Pod. Please just subscribe. really helps us out. If you're a listener, wherever you're listening to the podcast from, just subscribe there. Helps us as well. IMDb named us a top 100 podcast. 15 million podcasts out there to be named on anybody's top 100 list, let alone IMDb, which is the entertainment database. Is pretty great. So you can help us that way if you just go to imdb.com, look up the Two Opinionated Podcast, and that's all you have to do. Just bringing up our page, really, that traffic helps us out. You can also look, it'll show you the 800 or so guests that we've had on the program. I'd put that list up against anybody else's, but you can kind of see if there's anybody else that you'd love to watch or to listen to. I guarantee there will be. Our website is meistercon.com. You can find all, I think today we're putting out episode 734. You can find all those audio and video on our website, meistercon.com. Thank you guys so much. Till next time. Bye, everybody. Hi, everybody. I'm once again here to ask for your support. It's been a big year for the Two Opinionated Podcast. Back in February, we got to live out a dream, moderate for William Shatner here in our hometown. In May, we passed 100,000 downloads on our YouTube channel, and we followed that up in June with 50,000 downloads on the audio side. We recently posted our 600th episode, which is pretty good volume for just a father and son operation. You know, not too many podcasts can keep that volume up. We've been doing this now for 4.5 years, 600 plus episodes. We recently hit 1,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel, which is a really big deal for us because we've always gotten the views, but have struggled to get people to subscribe. So that 1,000 was a big deal for us. And best of all, we were recently named one of the top podcasts on IMDb, which is the entertainment database. You know, those that are ahead of us, we came in at number 82. Those that are ahead of us are bigger companies like Disney, mostly Marvel, and Joe Rogan, that type of podcast. So for us, being just a small West Virginia father and son podcast, to be in the top 100 out of 15 million, it's a pretty big deal for us. So thank you for everything you've done for us so far. Got a couple little ways, though, that you can help us, and they're free, and they're really easy. If you haven't checked out our YouTube channel yet, please go to YouTube. It's under MeisterCon Pod. Just hit subscribe. It's free. Doesn't cost you anything. Really helps us a ton. And maybe even more important, if you could go to imdb.com, look up the Two Opinionated Podcast, and just look around the page. Just having that traffic on the page really helps us out. So that's a couple easy ways that you can support us, even if you're not listening or watching all of the time. And we want you to listen and watch, because I think that our guest list, I would put up against anybody, any other show, podcast, anybody out there. I think our guest list holds up. So please check us out. You probably will find somebody that you like, or maybe somebody that you didn't know you liked, but kind of discovered them on there. There's tons of that. If you're into music, we have that too. If you like books, we've got authors on there. If you're more into what goes on behind the scenes in the entertainment world, you know, we've got producers, directors, video artists, anything you can think of that happens behind the scenes, we've had them on the show. So definitely check us out. Thank you guys so much. Until next time. Bye, everybody.